Okay, Jacob. So let's first review some things that we've learned in our previous lesson, okay? Can you tell me the difference between a major event in a story and a minor event?
Like major events of a story like really matter. If they were taken out of the story, I feel like everything would kind of like change. The important events that affect like the plot of the story. And then minor events, I would think that they're not as important. They could be taken away, and the story would like remain kind of the same.
Okay, that's pretty good of an explanation. I'm glad you remember that. Can you also tell me what is an inference?
An inference is something like we can assume based on the information like the author's given us in the story.
Great job. That was a perfect answer, and knowing the main events in a story is really going to help you answer critical thinking questions, which we're going to answer today. The point of our lesson today is to think about inferences and critical thinking in order to answer inferential questions about a story we read. So let me just remind you that inferences, just like you said, are made when we gather details or evidence from a text and we come to conclusions based on that evidence. In order for us to make inferences based on textual evidence, we're going to have to look back in our story and go ahead and find that textual evidence. So let us reread a story we actually read not that long ago, The Chaser. It's by John Collier, and it's a level Q text, which we just got on level Q. You've been reading really well. As we read this story, to yourself, you're going to think about what might be a main event, what is really important here, and what's a minor event, what's not so important, and then we'll answer some critical thinking questions about it. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So, here, let's start. How about you read a sentence, not a sentence, but a paragraph, and then I'll read the next one. We'll go back and forth. Okay, great. Now that we've read The Chaser, we're going to now consider some critical thinking questions about it. Okay? So I'm going to show you an isolated part of the story, and then you're going to answer a question that I have about it. Here, let me show you that part of the story. Okay, here it is. He pushed open this door as he had been told to do so, and found himself in a tiny room, which contained no furniture but a plain kitchen table, a rocking chair, and an ordinary chair. On one of the dirty, buff-colored walls were a couple of shelves containing in all perhaps a dozen bottles and jars. An old man sat in the rocking chair reading a newspaper. Alan, without a word, handed him the card he had been given. "Sit down, Mr. Austin," said the old man very politely. "I am glad to make your acquaintance." The question being asked about this portion of our text is, why do you think Alan Austin noticed the bottles and jars located on the shelves in the tiny room he entered? Now, you can go ahead and think about it, but before I ask you to answer some questions, I'll first model how we're going to critically think about this and answer a question like this. So my answer to this question would be, I think Alan Austin noticed the bottles and jars located on the shelves in the tiny room because he went there to buy a similar item. The reason why I think this is because I read the next few lines in the story, and Alan Austin asked the old man if it was true that he had mixtures that had extraordinary effects, like a potion. Alan Austin came to the room looking for something like that on the shelves in his house, and that's why he noticed the bottles and jars. Would this be something that you agree with?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Okay. So I'm going to actually do a very similar thing. This time, you're going to read the isolated part of the text that I give you, And you're going to look around in the story that we just read. You can look for textual evidence and then go ahead and answer on your own time. Here's our new isolated part of the story. You go ahead and read it out loud and take your time while you decide to answer the question I give you right after you finish reading. Yeah.
For 1 teaspoonful, which is sufficient, I ask $5,000, never less, not a penny less, says the old man. I hope all your mixtures are not as expensive, said Alan apprehensively.
Okay. Why do you think Alan said, I hope all your mixtures are not as expensive? You take your time and you can go ahead and look for some textual evidence to back up your answer.
Alan hoped the old man's mixtures were like not all expensive because like $5,000 seems like a lot for Alan.
Okay. And why do you say that? Because I didn't really hear some textual evidence there.
I think I say that because Alan is hoping the mixtures aren't that expensive, meaning he wants them to be the opposite, which is less expensive.
Okay. By any chance, can you provide textual evidence that he doesn't want to pay too much money for a potion?
Textual evidence. Alan spoke pretty like apprehensively, and I think that is telling the reader that he's nervous. This means he's nervous. He doesn't have enough. I think he's nervous that he doesn't have enough money for the potion he wants to buy.
Okay, that was great. Apprehensively is a vocabulary word that we learned not that long ago, meaning speaking with nervousness or anxiety. And so that definitely tells you he's nervous about not being able to afford it. I think that's some great textual evidence that you made.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to repeat this process a couple more times and just give you some more textual evidence. Excuse me, I meant some more text portions of the story, and then we'll ask questions and we'll continue from there.
Okay.
Here's the next portion or text. All right, and now we're gonna move on to our next activity. Okay, so now we're gonna practice answering critical thinking and inferential questions that have multiple choice answers. When it comes to multiple choice questions, sometimes there's going to be more than one answer that's correct, but you have to determine which one is the most correct out of all the other answers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah? Okay. Well, we'll give it a try. For example, this is not related to the story. If I were to ask you, what is the weather like outside? And you have the opportunity to choose between these 4 answers. You can see them there. A would be, it's good weather. B, it's sunny but partly cloudy. C, it's chilly outside. D, it's raining. Which do you think would be the best answer? And you go ahead and obviously look outside. This is based on today. Think about what would be the best answer in your opinion.
I'm not sure.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Well, what I want you to think about is which one of these answer choices is an opinion versus which one is definitely true. And you can go ahead and write down which one you think is an opinion and which one you think is more factual.
Okay, I think I get it. Then choice C is, choice C is also an opinion because it might be chilly to some, but not to everyone.
Okay, that's good. That's a good observation. What do you think about A, it's good weather? Is that an opinion or a fact?
It's an opinion.
Why would you say that?
Because
It's okay. Don't worry. Let's just think about it together instead. I would also agree that it's an opinion. And the reason why is because good is subjective.
mm-hmm.
It's not very specific, and good means different things to different people. That's why it would be an opinion. As well as what you said, chili. It might be chili to some, but it might not be chili to others. So A and C we can knock out. Right now, is it raining outside?
No.
No, exactly. So it's definitely not D. So we're going with B because it's the best answer. You might consider this weather being sunny and partly cloudy to be good weather, but you can't say it's good weather as a definite answer. It might be bad weather to someone else, but it's definitely sunny. It's definitely partly cloudy, and that's why B would be the most correct answer. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I'm sorry I got you there. But we're going to now try this with the story, okay? And hopefully it's not as hard. Besides, you need practice, so it's totally okay. How about we take a look at this question right here? Why does Alan Austin say, "I can hardly believe it," on the second page of the text? What you want to do is first go to the second page, find that, and then consider, why do you think Alan Austin said, "I can hardly believe it"?
Out of the choices,
The choices.
I think out of the choices, I choose choice A because after saying I can hardly believe it, it looks like Alan says she is so fond of parties, and the old man says she will not like them anymore. The old man is telling Alan that the girl will only want to be alone with him and no longer like parties, which is unbelievable to Alan because of how he knows her now.
That was some awesome textual evidence. You really look back in the text to find those context clues, didn't you? Yeah, that was awesome. I'm gonna give you a few more questions just like this and see how you do. Because that was really good. Okay. Now that you answered a couple other questions, and you did very well, if I may add, you got 4 out of 5 of them correct. What we're going to do is give you a formative assessment. You're going to now test the skills that you've learned today, and it's going to be based off of these questions that you see right here. I'll really quick read them to you, and then you can go on and take your time to answer them. First question is, why does the old man sell love potions that cost just $1? And our second question, why does the old man say, "Au revoir"? I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it very well. But it does mean in French, which means goodbye. Until next time. To Alan Austin instead of simply saying goodbye. The old man doesn't like to say goodbye is choice A. B, the old man just wanted to say something different than Alan. C, there's meaning behind the words au revoir. Or D, the old man is expecting to see Alan back in the store one day. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead and take time. And if you have any questions, you want me to reread these, you just let me know. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Okay, Jacob. So now that it's been 5 minutes, do you mind reading what you wrote down for your formative assessment?
Yeah. So the question was, why does the old man sell love potions that just cost $1, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I wrote the old man sells love potions costing $1 because young people do not usually have $5,000. Also, the old man believes if he pleases a customer with one item, then they will come back for another, even if it costs more money.
That's a really good answer. Where did
Thank
you find
you.
that in the text?
It was somewhere. Let's see. I think somewhere. Oh, right here. Where it says, like, he's just talking about it, and he says, I like to oblige, said the old man. Then customers come back later in life when they are better off and want more expensive things. Here you are. You will find it very effective.
Yeah, and then he started talking about the love potion. That was good. Yeah, that's exactly where I also saw that he expects people to kind of come back later on in life, and that's exactly what you said. That was good, like context clues. Good
Thank
job.
you.
And what was your answer for our last question? Do you mind reading the last question first, and then your answer?
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, the last question says, why does the old man say au revoir, which means goodbye until next time, to Alan Austin instead of simply saying goodbye? So out of all the choices, I picked D. The old man is expecting to see Alan back in his store one day. Again, one day.
Alright, awesome. That was actually correct.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful that you were able to do this formative assessment and come and see me today and meet. I know this is our last meeting for the year. I really appreciate you meeting with me this whole time.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah. Last thing, I want you to consider what we just did today. Today's objective was to correctly answer critical thinking questions and inferential questions about a level Q text, which you were able to do very well. How do you think that you could use these skills in class rather than just in this one-on-one setting?
It's a good question. I think I can probably use my skills of answering like critical thinking and what's the word, inferential?
Inferential, yeah.
Inferential questions on any exam, like ELA course or maybe like even like history.
That's a great observation. ELA and history are very similar, so you do answer very similar questions. Well, then I'm going to let you go. It's been 60 minutes, and I hope you have a good day today. Is your dad picking you up again?
I think so.
Yeah?
I hope so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.